Good evening everybody and welcome to round 14 of the Race Spec Pacific series. We're here with Tier 4 at Russia. I'm Bob and I'll be a commentator this evening. Looking forward to this one. Although Russia is a bit of a 50-50 track for some people, it does often provide some decent racing, at least on the game. So, and knowing these guys in Tier 4, they always put on a show. So I'm expecting good race and I reckon they will deliver for us. I'll just link the stream to the chat so they can all check it if they want to sweat and listen to my beautiful voice. And these guys just on their out laps, you might ride on board with Dan the racer, who's going to be the first one to do a hot lap just to find our way around the place. Getting the sound down, Curtis. I think I broke my TV remote, so I guess it's staying loud. I'll try and fix that in a sec. I actually think I broke my remote. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Alright, that should be hopefully a little bit better. You shouldn't hear the background noise through my mic. Apologies about that. I think I just broke my TV remote. But we'll worry about that a bit later. We've got a quality session to focus on. I'm board here with Dan the racer. I haven't really seen too much of the lap myself, but it's still valid, which is a start. That's one big thing about this track. Incredibly easy to pick up those track extending, corner cutting warnings. The curves are really flat and inviting to take. A lot of mid-speed corners. It's quite similar to Canada in a way, in terms of you want to try and take as much curve as you possibly can, but you really can't afford to cross that line anywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see if people can hang on to their laps and how much they're willing to push. Looks like Dan the racer is going to finish this lap though. It's going to be a 1:33 flat, which isn't a bad banker time. That should get beaten, and it is beaten by F1 boy 1:31.5. So that's a bit more of a representative lap time around here. You might ride with my first has been validated. There's a couple of guys just finishing the laps now. Suskas just starting. Macedonian's also just starting, so we might ride on board with Suskas here, who's been showing some really good form lately actually. He was playing almost a bit of a second fiddle to his teammate Macedonian, who is leading the championship, but the last few weeks Suskas has really turned it up and is starting to beat his teammate, or at least be on a very similar pace with him. So the Haas duo, definitely the guys to watch. I'll pull up the standings for a quick update as well. So currently it is Macedonian who leads One Sync Mofo by just 11 points, and then there's a big gap back. There's 38 points between Mofo and P3 of Lunacy. Then you've got BMAC another 27 points behind, and then Suskas has made some good ground in the last few weeks. He's now in P5 in the championship, but he's 95 points off his teammate in P1. So some really big gaps up the top, but after that, between Artie Chengs and P6, going right down, there are a few really close gaps, so plenty to play for some of these midfield guys, but some big gaps up the top. I think it's up to Mofo really to challenge Macedonian, as Lunacy pulls in a 31 flat. Did reserve the tier 3 race that's just been, did Lunacy, so he's well practiced. He's done plenty of laps around here already. That looks like a Renault that has possibly just done some donuts. I'm not too sure. Stationary in the second sector. Possibly just getting out of the way. We'll ride with MJ though. Coming through the third sector, which personally I struggle with a fair bit. The most technical section on the track, quite easy to lose the car over the bumps. If you're not running traction or ABS, particularly, it can be quite a challenge through there. Looks like MJ's done okay there. He's come across in P6 with a 32.5, so not a bad lap time there. Into P6. Plenty of guys still yet to set lap times though. So Shimatara is just starting. Lucy's currently sitting on top by 2/10 over Bretho, who's got a he's got a 3/10 gap, sorry, to F1 boy. And then another 4/10 gap back to Macedonian. So the gaps are really big. Our smallest gap actually is only a 10th between Macedonian and Nickman, but other than that, they're all over 2-3 tenths. So a lot of big holes for people to slot themselves into if they can hook a lap up. But as I said before, it's not easy to hook laps up around here with the track extending. So a lot of these guys are probably just getting a feel for the track first and just trying to get in a time. And then once you're comfortable with the track, then you can start to push the limits a little bit, find a bit of your groove. So for the second and third runs, we should see some of these times drop a lot. We should see most of these guys probably in the 31s or 32s, probably mid-high 31s for about the midfield. The pole guys might just crack into the 30s. So Lucy's getting pretty close there. He did a I think it was a 30.9 or 30.8 or something like that. So that's probably the target that the top guys are hitting, those high 30s. But yeah, I think a 31, like a low to mid 31 would be quite solid for a lot of these guys. So a bit of time to find for a few of them, but there's still 10.5 minutes left in this session. So plenty of time to get a couple more runs in and really try to hook up that lap. We've got a Shumatata coming through the final corner now. If you don't run wide at the last corner, you can get this and previous lap invalid if you run a bit wide there, which would really suck. Shumatata goes 4th though, which is nice, just ahead of his teammate Nickman in P6. So the two McLarens both up in the top 6 for now, which is good to see for them. Looks like Artie might be on a lap here coming from the 3rd sector. Nice, tight and twisty. Get the braking right for this corner here. You don't want to run deep at all, otherwise you're taking a really long way to get back to the racing line. Always he invalidates cutting that there. That curb on the inside there, that is a lot wider, like the wall's a lot further away to that. You used to be able to run almost up to the wall, but in this game there's a really big gap between the inside of the track and the wall. So that's something drivers are going to have to be mindful of as well, to not kind of take that corner as you probably once could. One other thing about the track as well is if you see on the apexes, there's little orange bumps there, which are designed to stop people running over the curb too much, but in the past have pretty much been non-existent. They are a little bit taller this game, so you can't afford to take too much of that curb and run that orange bump. You want to kind of nick it on the apex, otherwise it could send your car just straight on. We're right on board here with Mofo. Well, that's the other way, so you either have to nick it or you have to get your whole car over it. At some curbs you're going to invalidate doing that. So there you go, you can see him just nicking it there. That was a really nice apex there. Probably could have carried a tad more exit speed, but you're going to have to be a bit mindful of those orange curbs as well. You can't take too much of them, or could really throw the car off. 2 purple sectors so far from Mofo according to our timing screens. A tad deep after the DRS zone, which is probably going to be one of the favourite overtaking zones, as well as into turn 2. They do count that kink at the start of the lap as turn 1, but turn 2 and then down the back straight, which is actually quite a difficult braking zone. It is a turning braking zone, it's not just a straight line, so if you're not running ABS, it's very easy to lock up. Lucy just stays ahead of Mofo there, Mofo with a 31 flat as well, so good luck there. I think that's Suskus, no, it's his teammate Macedonian on that lap. I just want to ride on board with him and show the braking zone, because it is really difficult, because a lot of braking zones you just run straight along the outside, whereas here you can see the track goes right around to the left, so you have to try and straighten up your approach and almost brake right to the apex. A lot of corners you want to start out wide, hit the apex and swing out wide, but here you can't really afford to do that, because you're not going to be able to get the maximum braking performance, so you're going to have to brake a lot more straight towards that apex there. And on the inside just there, that's the curve I was talking about before, where you can't take too much of that as you were able to in other installments of the F1 game. But we'll ride with Macedonian here. Looks like he's about to start a hot lap. His teammate Suskus is also on a lap. We'll keep an eye on that time as well, because we should see the 2 Haas's up top. I believe they are leading the constructors as well. I'll just double check that to make sure I'm not speaking garbage. Yes, they are. So Haas are 96 points clear of Renault at the moment, and Renault have just a 7-point buffer to Ferrari behind, and then Racing Point's another 43 points behind that. Then you've got Red Bull and AlphaTauri nice and close together, another 20 or so behind. So Haas is very comfortable at the top, as Macedonian has invalidated his lap. Looks like Nickman is on a lap, so we'll stay with him. But yeah, Haas well in control of the constructors, but that battle for P2 with the Renaults and the Ferraris is looking nice and close. Mofo and Lunacy regular contenders for podiums and even wins. And then Bretho and Honest Crook somewhat inconsistent, but Breatho's actually put in a really good quality time so far. Sitting in P3 with a 31.2. So Renault looking good. Honest Cook hasn't set a lap. Very, I guess, common of Honest Cook to not really set a lap until the end. I'm not sure if it's just invalidating his first runs or whether he just chooses to go at the end, but regardless, he's going to need to get a time in unless he wants to start at the back, which is probably not ideal. Nick Mann goes P5. Everyone is qualifying on the soft tyres, with the exception of Honest Cook at the moment. The race strategy around here, for drivers who haven't done their homework as well as anyone else who is curious, it's just about the easiest one-stop soft to medium you can do. I think this and Britain are pretty much equal best for a soft to medium. You can do, I think you can do half the race on the softs if you wanted to, on fresh softs. So those guys qualifying on softs, they'll probably pit around about lap 10, 11. But you can pit as early as lap 7 if you really want to. And your tyres will still be fine to the end of the race. Or if you're starting on mediums, you can pit on lap 13, lap 14 and do 12 or so laps on the soft tyres and they will last. So tyres won't be a problem at all for these guys. There's not really any variance in this strategy, so that's why everyone is qualifying on those medium on those soft tyres, with the exception of Honest Cook on those mediums. But we should probably see Honest Cook put on a set of softs at the end of the session, because I don't think there's too much point really starting. There's not much point really starting on the mediums, I don't think, when there's no real benefit compared to the softs. I mean, when the softs are shocking, that's when the mediums are clearly the best. Nick Mann is in the pits now. I wonder if his teammate there is on a lap. He's invalidated. Macedonian is pushing again, I think. I'm not sure what his delta is. We'll stay with him though. As he's coming around the final couple of corners. Easy to cut these as well. Try and get the turn in right. Macedonian turning a tad late maybe, but hits that quite nicely. Down to second to the front of the corner, improves to P4 with a 31.5, so that's a decent time there. 5/10 improvement, but I reckon he's got a little bit more in him still. I reckon there's more time in that Haas. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for his final run. Shumatada and the other McLaren's just started a lap. I think Dan the Racer is also on a lap. We might jump to him if you haven't seen him yet. No, he's invalidated. Who else haven't we seen yet? Honest Cook is invalidated. Artie Cheng's is on a lap. Maybe we'll ride with Artie Cheng's then in the Racing Point. After a really strong result at Hungary, he's started to find some good pace, challenging for top fives a lot more regularly. So he'll be hoping to keep up that momentum. Currently without a time though, so he's going to have to get a lap on the board. He's probably not quite going to have time. No, he's not going to have time to do another in-lap, out-lap. So this could be his last chance, actually, unless he comes in the pits now for Artie Cheng's. Looks like he's going to finish the lap. So this is probably Artie Cheng's only real chance of getting a quality time in. And what's he done? He's put it into P4. So good effort there from Artie, up into the front 2 rows, which is important. You don't want to be in that midfield coming through the first couple of corners where guys are trying to maximise their starts. So good to get clear of a couple of those guys. Got some yellows. I think that's just Mofo getting out of the way of his teammate, who has gone purple 2/10 quicker than his best. So Breatho could be challenging for pole here. Also, if Miss Lunacy has improved his time, he's gone into the 30, so he's got a 30.9. So that is a good lap there. Shumatada pops into P4 as well. So a couple of guys really improving now. The time's starting to roll in, but I reckon Breatho could be on for one here if he can hang on to this lap. It's been a good first sector. We'll have to watch what the second sector time is. He was 2/10 up on his best. He is now, he's lost a tiny bit of time, but still 2/10 around about up. So if you can hook together a good third sector, then it will still be an improvement, and possibly jump him above his teammate, and possibly even challenge Lunacy, because that gap is quite small. It's just less than a 10th between Lunacy and Mofo. And he's invalidated, so that's a shame there for him. He's not going to come into the pits and have another go. He's probably just going to have another go right now. But that could have been a good lap there for Breatho. Excuse that, I've just dropped something. Who is on a lap? Looks like F1 boys, invalidated, installated. We haven't seen either yet. We might ride with him. He's second up in sector 1. So he's got a lot more pace than a 32.3 in him, I reckon. So he hasn't really gotten a clean lap in yet. So we should expect to see him around about that top 5, if not kind of top 7 or 8. Speaking of top 7 or 8, Gerald put himself a P6, which is a good effort from him. He's usually sitting around about the 7, 8, 9, 10 when he's hooking it up, but is prone to a couple of mistakes on race day. So if he can get a good race in, then he could be on for some points, which would be great for his confidence. I don't think he's got any points yet, actually. No, he hasn't. So possibly first points to Drow. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. It'd be great to see him get up there. But Insulator coming around the final couple of corners now to stay on board. He's cut a little bit of that, but has kept the lap, which is a little bit lucky. Pushing it to the absolute maximum there. Down the race is retired. It's probably in the pits. 30 seconds left, so anyone who's not on track now is not going to get the lap in. Insulator will improve to P10, so he hasn't had the best second and third sector there. He might drop to P11 depending on what guys around him do. MJ's invalidated. Suscus is on a lap. We'll ride with him and then we'll have a look at some of those top guys. Breatho goes quickest with a 1:30.934. That's a great lap there. Actually, you know what? We might jump up here because I think Mofo is just finishing as well. He goes quickest with a 30.918 and Lunacy just behind. What can Lunacy do? Can he beat the two Renaults? So both Renaults improving into the 30.9s. What can Lunacy do though? I'm not sure if he's up. No, he's not up and he's going to bail on his lap. So he's done for the session. It'll be P3 for Lunacy. But the two Renaults coming in clutch. Drow jumps into P4 with a 31.3. So Drow, fantastic qualifying there for him. And we'll go back to Suscus, who has retired. Honest Cook is on a one-shot quali. He's going to be the last one across. So we'll flick to... I don't think the Renaults are going again. Oh, actually, Mofo might be pushing again. But we'll go to Honest Cook first because he is still on the lap. I think he's just behind Mofo. So we'll stay with Honest Cook. This is important to get a lap on the board. You don't want to be starting last if you don't have to. That's a general rule. He's going to open that DRS. What kind of time is he going to do? I'm not sure what the sector times are really around here, so we're not going to really know what the time is until he crosses the finish line. But can he find some really good pace in this third sector? Low on fuel, he's hung onto the lap pretty well. It's looked quite neat and tidy so far. He's going to have a Renault in front of him. That's Mofo. I think he's backed off his lap. So Honest Cook has actually been quite a tidy lap. This could challenge possibly the top 5. It'd be great to have two Ferraris up in that top 5, particularly the two Renaults being there, being in a championship fight. But Honest Cook will come across the line and it will be a 31.6. Okay, so he's lost a little bit more time than I thought he would have. So he's going to start P11, the first of the 3 tyre runners. So we'll see what he can do. As I'm pretty sure my remote is still stuck. I just tried fixing the batteries. So we'll be stuck on this sound. Hopefully you can't hear it over my voice, the game sound. But I think we're just waiting now for Mofo to retire in the pit lane. And then we can move on to the race. But it is a Renault 1-2, which is big for that constructors fight. If they want to chase down Haas, and then also in their battle with Ferrari, which is really close. So well done there. From the Renault guys. Lucy will take P3, just marginally behind. There's a big gap actually, 4/10 back to Drow, and Nick Mann's right in his tail as well. 2 McLarens 5-6, which is great for them. RDP7, Macedonian Championship leader in P8. F1 Buoyant Insulator P9 and 10. They'll all have to start on the softs, those guys. Honest and Downwards will get free choice of tyres. MJ 12 down the racer, Lijardo in the Williams, and Suscus didn't set a time, which is big. Because you normally see him up in the top 5 as well. So Suscus is going to have to do a last 2 question mark. We know he's got a lot more pace than last place. So we'll have to see if he can progress through the field, but that'll do it for qualifying. Mofo, Breatho and Lunacy taking the honours pretty comfortably over P4. So they might be in a bit of a race of their own at the moment. For the first couple of laps at least, if they can pull away and then onwards. So the likes of Drow, the 2 McLarens behind, they're going to have to put in some good laps and make sure they don't lose the DRS, because the DRS is really important around about here to stay within a chance of making up positions, because that's how F1 is these days. DRS and slipstream. Most of it comes down to that. But anyone in chat who's watching the stream, get some predictions in if you'd like. Top 3, let me know. Haven't had many predictions recently, so it'd be good to get one in. Fredo Frog on the line if you'd win it, if you get your prediction right. So if you want a Fredo, then get guessing. But we've got a couple of seconds left, and I'll flick to the tyres and see what all these guys start the race on. So they're all just loading in now. Marvellous. Renault 1-2, that looks nice on the grid. Alright, so tyres. Every single person is starting on the softs. There you go. So no one's going to try the alternate. Everyone chilling on softs. So it's pretty much just going to be a straight race for the entire race. No one's going to two-stop it without something going wrong. No one's going to one-stop to hard. So every single person is going to do a soft to medium. So I guess that's good in a way that everyone just gets to race each other properly for the entire race, but it's not really going to give anyone a chance to really close in majorly, I don't think, if everyone's in the same strat. As in, like, you can't really use the strategy to your advantage. You can't gain on people in that way if everyone's on the same strategy. So yeah, it's going to be a straight race, which will be interesting. So that makes it even more important to stay with people. If you're not going to be able to jump them in pits, at least with the tyres, then it's going to be really difficult to make positions. And let's see if people make use of the undercut, which can gain you a fair few seconds if you get the timing right. If you can pit lap 8 or lap 9, I think Jeff tells you to pit lap 10 or 11, but if you can pit lap 8 or lap 9, then you could gain a few seconds with the guys in front, so you might see a couple of undercut attempts, as long as you don't come out in traffic. That's probably the only way to really make a difference on the strategy if everyone's on the same tyres. But I'm sure these guys will be able to do something creative. And if not, then it's going to be a good race to watch, because everyone will have equal gear, pretty much. Of course, the setups will be different and stuff, but in terms of tyres, everyone will be on a level playing field, which is going to make things really exciting. People with good pace are going to really do well here then. As the AI is just taking over the front guys now, looks like. I don't think anyone's been reset back to the group, which is good, so everyone's going to have nice warm tyres to start the race with. Really long run into turn, well, effectively turn 1, but what is actually turn 2. The right hand kink is technically turn 1, but really long run into the first braking zone, so the start's going to be important. In real life, starting P3, P4 is actually probably just about better than starting P1 and 2, make the most of that slipstream. So we'll have to see if the likes of Lunacy and Drow can threaten the Renaults, because if the Renaults can leave turn 2 and turn 3 still on a 1-2, then that would be a fantastic start for them, but it looks like we're just about ready to go. Give us a good camera angle, please. We've got this lovely rear angle. There we go, that's a bit better. We've got 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and a moderate hold. We are underway. It looks like Lunacy gets a half decent start, but I think the McLaren behind gets almost a better start. Lunacy's already challenging for the lead. He's past One Sync Mofo. Can Lunacy throw it down the inside of turn 1? Looks like everyone's kept it fairly clean so far, which is not easy to do necessarily. Lunacy's going to kind of put a nose in there, but Mofo will fight back and go around the outside of turn 2. There's a racing point going wide there, doesn't take the runoff, which in real life is illegal, but I think that's okay here. Looks like everyone's gotten through cleanly though. Lajardo's dropped off a little bit though, at the back in the Williams, as we've got a couple of movers down the field. Looks like, oh, there's actually a bit of chaos here. Is that MJ? No, it's McLaren. Ashuna Matata's gone around, so Ashuna Matata's had something gone wrong. MJ and Insulator pushing each other through, and Soskas is going to take both of those positions. Thank you very much, says the half driver. Lajardo's now on the inside, and he's going to get the door closed on him, and he will spin. Oh, and Ashuna Matata smacks into the side of him as well. Probably a bit lucky to not DNF there. But Lajardo now right at the back, which is not ideal. As up the top here, Macedonian gets by Nickman, who's now got Drow right alongside as well. So Drow lost out to the McLaren, but he's going to fight back now. Macedonian making a good start as well, gaining a couple of positions. Looks like Nickman's going to have to slow behind the pair of them though. Oh, he's actually going to send it on the pair of them, and he's going to make some contact, and he's going to do well to hold that. And there is another Williams around. There's F1 boy. So both Williams spinning on the opening lap, which is far from ideal for their race strategy. So they're now 14-15, aka last and second last. So that's not going to do them any favours to the race. But up the front, the Renaults have held onto a 1-2, but Lunacy is there and ready to pounce as well. As Lunacy, that's just the leaderboard glitching out. Breatho is still in P1, so don't worry about that too much. Honest Cook is not in third either. Although Honest Cook has made up a few positions, which is good for him. Artie Cheng's is not in P4 either. He's in that midfield. He's got his teammate right with him, just ahead of him there. So we'll have to see what the Racing Points decide to do for strategy. But they look fairly set for now. So Drow on the back of Nick Man. He's lost a fair few positions at the start of the race. Has the Mercedes, but he'll be hoping to make a couple up here again, I think. I'm not sure what position this is for because the leaderboard is still a bit wrong. Looks like he's fairly settled there. I think the leaderboard's just about fixed now. But Mofo, between Breatho and Lunacy, they've got a big gap back to Macedonian. Have a look at that already. A second and a half. So important for Macedonian now to close that gap. He's cleared a couple of guys now he needed to, so he's done that bit as he needed to do. But he's now going to have to work. He's a bit of tire, he's a bit of ERS, which looks like he's doing to close that gap so that the top three don't get away. Prediction from ATW in chat, reckon Lunacy will win, so reckons he can get by both the Renaults. Speaking of getting by, looks like Nickman and Drow making a bit of contact there. Who's going to give? Neither of them do. And Nickman's gone round, catching the inside tyre there. And that's pretty much an instant spin if you hit car in that way. He's going to have to wait for everybody to go past. So both Williams and both McLarens have had really poor starts now. Those four occupy the bottom four spots. Insulator also dropping a fair bit as well. As Murphy sets the quickest lap, he's right on the back of his teammate and Lunacy's right behind as well. We might ride on board with the Ferrari and get a good view of this because the two Renaults are not giving each other an inch of space. Breatho trying to squeeze Murphy, but Murphy is ahead. Breatho going to try and be later on the brakes but can't really make the most of it there. And Breatho is probably going to get the run. Oh, Murphy's in the wall! Murphy's gone on the fence, he's got damage. That is massive for the championship. He's got to reverse on track and luckily his Ghost doesn't take him on with him. But lots and lots of people making mistakes on lap 1. Well, technically lap 2 here, but at the early stages of the race, that's massive for Mofo. He's now got damage on lap 2 or lap 3, whatever it is. Not sure if the leaderboard's right or not, but that is really big for his championship chances. So now Macedonian, he's going to be hard to catch if he can hang on to a podium here, but that is big there. He's left his teammate exposed to Lunacy now, so we might see the Ferrari start to pounce. Look at that gap there, it's nice and close. Lunacy within half a second. He's going to use DRS and overtake, so can Lunacy make a move? He's going to have the toe and everything. He's closing massively. Breatho doesn't have much to fight with in this instance. Lunacy's going to go around the outside. It will become the inside of this corner. Can he not go deep? He's gone deep, has Lunacy. Breatho is still there and trying to hold it around the outside. Sorry for switching there, that was an accident there. Still side by side. Who's going to give? Give each other plenty of space. This is fantastic racing. All this is doing though is allowing Macedonian back into the fight. But Lunacy manages to get in front for P1, which is big. But with the DRS now, Breatho may have another chance to fight back. These two really similar on pace. Breatho cuts the last corner, which is probably going to be a warning there. Don't want to pick up too much in terms of warnings, but Lunacy does lead the way. Is Breatho close enough to have a go? He's not going to be. And Macedonian just behind is not going to be either. So these top three now, 2.5 second gap back to Drow, who's under pressure from Honest Crook, who's made up a fair few positions off the start as well. Can't quite squeeze through on the inside. Down the racer now, looking like he wants a piece of this battle as well. Just behind Artie and Suskas close together. Moko is in the pit, so he's going to be dead last, and he's going to need a safety car to get back into this race and have any chance of scoring good points. Honest Crook's gone deep. That's going to let down the racer through not quite. Maybe he's going to throw down the inside. No, he's going to back out slightly. Honest Crook later on the brakes there. Hayden's on to P5. Up the front, the gap's right on the second, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Breatho has DRS. It's going to be really close. I think he's 1.018 and he's not got DRS. That is massive there. So Lunacy has broken DRS at the front. Macedonian has DRS though, but he's not going to be close enough to really make a move this time around, but we should see him close in soon. Honest Cook looks like he's got a lot of pace. He's already caught Drow after passing down the racer earlier on. So Honest Cook looking real racy, and now this change of fortunes in the race has meant Ferrari has the upper hand in this constructors battle as well, with the Renault's starting 1-2 with Mofo now out of the equation. This is Ferrari's chance to strike back in the constructors. Now Lunacy ahead of Breatho and out of DRS. Who's going to stop him? It's going to be up to Lunacy to keep it clean, keep his nose clean, get the strategy right, not pick up penalties. That's going to be his ticket to winning, but he's done the important bit getting out in front. Macedonian is now going to get past Bretho as well. Down the inside, Bretho can't really... Oh, he's going to go a bit later on the brakes, but not looking to make a move really. Just taps the back of Macedonian slightly, but not enough to really affect anything. Lahardo at the back is in the pits as well. He's going to join Mofo right at the back, who has put on hard, so he's going to be struggling for a long time in this race. Those hard tyres really aren't good to run around here. So Mofo in for a long race. He's going to need to put in some good laps to get back into the points. So that is a shame. Lahardo has gone onto hards as well. I think he would have picked up damage with that first lap crash, which is unfortunate for Lahardo as well. So have to see what they can do in terms of a comeback. But in terms of a comeback, Macedonian now, he's going to have to push now to close the gap to Lunacy. Bretho doesn't look like he has the pace to run with Lunacy in the race, but he may be able to just sit in the toe of Macedonian and let him pull him towards Lunacy. That might be his chance of coming back at that lead, but Lunacy's doing very well at the moment. It's lap 5, long way to go still, but Lunacy's gotten the first phase of the race right. He's jumped the Renaults, and he's clear of DRS, so really important there. We might flick over to Suscus and MJ actually, because I think MJ's made a move on Suscus. I'm pretty sure Suscus was on the back of the racing points before. So MJ's gotten himself up in a P8 now. We might actually have a quick look at the position changes. There you go, so Macedonian up 6, Honest Cook up 6, Down the Racer up 7, Suscus up 6 as well. So Down the Racer's had a mega start. I thought he started a little bit higher than he did, but up 7 positions is absolutely mega. But look at that, Mofo down 14 spots from pole to last. Nick Mance down 8 as well. He had some trouble, both McLarens and both Williams getting into a bit of trouble with other people and their own mistakes as well. So both of them, all 4 of them actually right down the back in the lost positions. Otherwise, pretty much everyone else has gained because of that. So yeah, it's been an interesting start to the race, but things may start to settle down a bit now with these guys find their rhythm. Bretho gets 3 seconds, which is not going to help his race-winning charge, or attempted race-winning charge. That's going to be really key there, minimising those warnings. Whoever ends up with the least amount of penalties is probably going to jump a lot of positions. If you can stay within DRS with people and keep it clean, then that's just another bonus that can really vault you up the field. So it's going to be interesting to see how easy these guys take it on the track limits, or whether they're just going to keep pushing it. Because you can find a lot of pace by exploiting, or not exploiting, making the most of the curbs where you can, but it's a really fine line between running the curbs and running over the curbs. It's so easy to do. As Suscus is going to pit, he's going to be the first person to pit on strategy, lap 7, so this is probably the earliest you want to pit onto the mediums. I assume it will be mediums. I think it wouldn't make sense if he was on anything else. Looks like Macedonian and Bretho are switching over as well. Bretho's got back through, so they're into P2 again for the Renault. Macedonian drops back to P3, so these guys swapping over. If they play it smart, then they may be able to kind of tow each other along to Lunacy, but they can't afford to fight. Otherwise, Lunacy's just going to be able to pull away, and that's going to allow the likes of Drow, Honest, Down the Racer behind to close in. So Bretho and Macedonian need to play this smart, because battling can lose you a lot of time, which is the last thing you want in a race where everyone's on the same strat. Time is really important. But yes, Suscus now P13 on the medium, so he should be able to undercut possibly MJ, and he'd be close to the racing points as well, I think, depending on how long they stay out for. I reckon they'll stay out probably another lap or 2. As Honest and Drow switching positions as well. Honest does get up into P5, excuse me, Drow drops to Honest to P4, and something's happened up here. Bretho's round. Bretho has gone round. I'm not sure if there was contact there, but he has made a mistake somewhere along the way, and he's now dropping down the field. As Insulator's gone off the track there to kind of avoid an incident, which was probably important to do, but probably not quite necessary in the end there. But Bretho now out of the fight in P2. So both Renaults making mistakes. I don't think Macedonian was really close enough for those two to have made contact, so I reckon that may have just been an unforced error on Bretho's part, but he's not going to lose out to Insulet on DRS. But down to P8 now, it's been an absolute disaster for Renault, and with Ferrari in P1 and P3, always a bit of contact there. Ferrari in P1 and 3, that's massive for the Constructors' Championship. That's going to vault Ferrari up an awful lot of positions. Not positions, sorry, it's going to vault them up an awful lot of points over them, the Renault guys. But Bretho not able to come back an inch later, so he's going to have to settle P9 while his teammate is floundering down in P14 on the hard tyres, which are not fast. 21.5 second gap to Saskas ahead. So Mofo is in for a long race. Looks like Bretho, he's going to need something to go his way as well, to get back into that top points positions, because 2 points isn't going to be enough to keep Renault ahead in the Constructors. As that's going to be another warning for Bretho, so he's going to be close to a second penalty as well, so Bretho needs to probably settle down a tad and get back into the swing of things. So it's going to be a tough long race for the Renault guys, but look at this, Insulator's gone a bit deep, and that's going to allow Bretho back to have a look. Is Bretho going to send it? He's going to think about it, but backs out. It's not really a place to make an overtake really at all, unless the person in front makes a major mistake. But Bretho looking pacey now as MJ's in the pits. He's the second one to pit on strategy. It'll be interesting to see where Saskas comes out relative when they both running down the main straight. It looks like Bretho's going to have another run on Insulator here. He's not using overtake, but he should the run. Insulator defends the inside. Sort of moves a couple of times, which is pushing the limits. But he's going to go down the inside. It's going to be contact. Insulator's round. I think from that point of view, Bretho did leave him some space. Insulator went in a bit too hot. So I would probably call that a racing incident at first look, but Bretho may have shut the door on him slightly. Didn't get the best camera angle for that, unfortunately, but that's unfortunate for Insulator. He's now dropped 7.5 seconds, so Bretho does get P7, although not cleanly. And Insulator's now dropped a fair bit. He's got F1 Boy just behind as well, 1.5 seconds. So yeah, it's been an interesting start to the race. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen contenders making mistakes. We've seen a couple of incidents. We've seen some nice overtakes as well. But Lunacy up front, 3 seconds. He is totally in charge of this race. That practice in Tier 3 really paying off now with the race pace. But Macedonian, you never really can count him out. I think consistency is what has gotten him these results so far. That's why he's leading the championship. But looks like he's going to come to the pits now, so this is Macedonian's move. Lunacy's also in from P1, so the top two pitting the same lap. Honest Cook will have to stay out because his teammate is in the pits. Drow stays out, and everyone else pretty much stays out as well. Both racing points are going to extend a bit as well, so hopefully they are not going to pit the same lap either, because that could really stuff up their strategy. Right on board with Saskas. MJ came out a long way behind Saskas actually. I thought that gap would be a bit smaller. But we'll see where Saskas is relative to these top guys. Lunacy should be well clear, but it's going to be close between, say, Saskas and Bretho, I think. He should probably come out behind his teammate as well. Where are these guys in the pit lane? Yeah, he's ahead of his teammate. So behind Lunacy and ahead of his teammate. So that's a big undercut there for Saskas. He's got 2 lap older tyres though, but he's made the most of that undercut, and he's now got the track position, which is important. In this game, track position is pretty much always king, so if you can get yourself in the right spot at the right time, things are going to fall your way. And with Saskas having that track position now, he's in a really good position to kind of hang on to that. But if things start to go weird, say we get a safety car or a virtual safety car, track position is always going to be really important there. So Saskas doing really well with that undercut. He's jumped his teammate, and Bretho is a fair way back as well. Shimatada's just behind Bretho, so Shimatada has also coming to the pits. We did see him go around on lap 1, but he's now back with Bretho as well. Everyone who is pit still come out ahead of Mofil and the Hardo, who did have to change their wings on the hard tyres. They're going to start dropping back from these medium guys, because these are going to be that much better than the hards around back here. So that's disappointing for Mofo. Doesn't even get a bit of track position. Shimatada's not close enough to make a move this time. Bretho still looking pretty decent. RD Changs and Drow are in the pits, so that leaves Honest Crook into the lead. And down the race is about a second and a half behind him there. You can just see him in the picture there. So close, but not close enough to really provide much of a challenge directly on track yet. But down the race, so it's keeping it nice and tidy for now, as is Honest Crook. But he's probably going to have to pit soon so he doesn't lose track position when he does pit. The undercut is strong, as you said a couple of times already. So it's going to be, I mean, you're going to have better tyres long as you stayed out at the end of the race, but I don't think you're going to have kind of 2 second lap better tyres at the end of the race like you would when you do come into the pit straight away. So Shumatara and Breatho having a bit of a battle. Let's have a look at this. Oh, side by side through the long right hander. Breatho picks up his second penalty, cutting that corner there. As he's going to hang on is Shumatara. But Breatho looking real roasty. Bit of spice in the chat though. Wanting Mofo has had a bit of a complaint about his teammate, which I'm not too sure if there was any contact there, but that possibly indicates to me there might have. We saw them fighting each other pretty hard, but we didn't actually see the incident which sent Mofo around too clearly. I might have a quick rewind of the stream to see if we got a better image of it. I'm just having a quick look at it now. Yeah, okay, so looking at the stream again, it's a really unusual place to lose the back end. So that possibly indicates to me that Breatho's given him the tiniest tap, which has sent him round. I know from first-hand experience, D3 race, and just in general, if you get a little bit of contact at the wrong point when you're on the power and accelerating out of the corner, if you get a tiny bit of contact, it can just send you around straight away and there's no saving it. So that possibly is what's happened to the Renaults. They may have made a tiny bit of contact at just the wrong point for Mofo, as he's flat in the power trying to find the traction. Just uncertain that rear end is not going to help you do that. So perhaps that is what's happened, but we'll let the Renault guys, we'll let Ciro sort that out, and possibly the stewards a bit later. F1 boys going to absolutely send it here on Nickman, and he's not going to quite make it stuck. Nickman gets a good run through turn 2 and on the exit of turn 3, so F1 boys to stay in P13 for now. Looking like a spicy battle. A couple of little battles still. RD Changs is on the back of Drow for P, or is effectively P2 actually. So they've made a lot of ground. What's happened to Macedonian and Honest? So Macedonian, something's happened here because Macedonian was ahead of Drow, RD and Honest Crook before the stop. So I wonder if Macedonian's had to do a wing change or something. That's why he's behind them all, because I'm pretty sure he was in P2 fighting with Breatho. And then after that fighting with Honest Crook as well, I think. So Macedonian, he's lost out a fair bit, and his teammate is just behind as well, so his teammate's actually lost out a bit too. So maybe maybe what has happened is that overcut possibly has worked a little bit. Just as quick as laps, he's got some pace now, he's got some clear air, he's effectively P2, so Drow's made massive gains. Yeah, so I've missed something in terms of strategy here, because Drow and RD Changs have jumped a lot of people here. So maybe they've felt a lot more confident on those soft tyres than the other guys have, and they've still managed to find some time in it, because they have jumped, which is massive for them. So Macedonian now in P5, he's going to have a couple of gaps to close now to get back into the podium positions. But Drow and RD Chang's P2 and P3 now, but look at that gap to Lunacy ahead from Drow. He's 5 seconds up the road from Drow. RD Chang's just under a second behind Drow, but actually Honest Crook's right there as well. But Lunacy totally in control of this race so far. He just needs to keep it clean. It's a boring way to go about a race, but if it's going to get you a win, then that's the way to do it. So Lunacy looking fantastic at the moment. Suscus picks up 3 seconds, which isn't going to help him. Down the race there, I reckon Suscus has gone wide there actually, possibly because down the race has gotten through on him. So the Haas guy is struggling a little bit perhaps here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm missing stuff or if they are making mistakes, but down the race looks like it's got some good pace. Suscus is on 5 lap older medium, so they're not going to have as much pace as down the race for anyway, but you wouldn't expect them to be that much slower yet. The mediums are a very, very good race tyre around here. They have a lot of grip for a long time. But maybe Suscas just pushing a tiny bit much, maybe heating his tyres a tad. Because Dan the Racer is a lot quicker at the moment on those fresh mediums. So he's now only got 2-second gap to Macedonian in the other half. You can see riding on board there, Macedonian just ahead. Then on the straight you'll just be able to see Honest Cook another 3 seconds ahead of Macedonian. So Dan the Racer looking really good at the moment. But a long ways still to go in this race. We've only just hit the halfway point, so plenty more can happen still. In terms of the battle for the lower points, Nick Mann's right at the back of Insulator here. F1 Boy's right back as well, so this is a spicy little battle happening here. Nick Mann's going to have a look down the inside. I remember last week Nick Mann and I think it was Nick Mann and F1 Boy were having a mad battle for the entire race. Looks like they're going to try and repeat that. So these two looking very similar on pace in general and really showing some great racecraft on each other. Now I've got Insulator in the fight as well, so it's a three-way fight as Insulator picks up 3 seconds, which isn't going to help him. These three do have a 12-second deficit to MJ ahead, but for a couple of points, actually this is for 1 point at the moment, Insulator in P10, so it's going to be important to pick up that point. Because if you lose this fight, you're getting 0 points, and 1 point is a lot better than 0 points. F1 Boy getting close to Nick Mann. I'm not sure if he's going to quite have the run to have a dive. No, he's not going to. He's going to play the smarter game, wait till you do get a good run, and then dump that battery and go for it. He's actually got a really good run out of the chicane there and into the next one. It's not an overtaking zone, it's really to line you up for the main straight. But Nick Mann doing well enough to stay ahead. He's got Insulator as well for DRS, which is going to help him defend from F1 Boy. Suscas and Dan the Racer having a fight. Dan the Racer lets Suscas go through there, but Suscas is a bit deep. Dan the Racer is going to have a better run, but he's going to go around the outside, which is longer. Suscas should be able to hold it on the inside. Dan the Racer can't quite stick back. He has to lift off a tiny bit to avoid running to the back of him. Although he's going to have a good run here. As long as he picks up 3 seconds, that's not going to help his chances of winning if he keeps picking up those. But he's got a big gap behind, so not the worst thing to happen to our race leader yet, but I'm sure he's going to want to minimise those warnings. As Suscas is struggling through there. And Dan the Racer's in the back of him, actually. There's a lot of movement going on the track at the moment. Nick Mann and MJ and Insulator still having a fight. As Insulator, something's happened here. Insulator's lost out to the pair of them. So that's not great there. And I think that's Bretho. Lizardo and Bretho were having a fight as well, and they may have made some contact. So not good there for the pair of them. Lizardo has gone around once again, but these guys down the racer, can he get through on Suscas? He's going to run to the back of him again. So lots of things happening right now on the track. Suscas not looking too flash through the corners, but down the racer not quite getting close enough to really throw the nose. He's just kind of running to the back of him at the moment, which is not how you're going to get past someone. So down the racer is probably going to have to line up and move a little bit smarter. Suscas is actually going to pit. Has Suscas, I wonder if he's got damage, because I don't know why he'd be pitting on 7-lap old mediums. I'm going to stay on board with the pit stop, because I'm curious to see, because you wouldn't expect Suscas in this early. You can take softs to the end now, but it's not going to be quicker doing a 2-stop over a 1-stop. So damage is the only thing I can really think of. And he's not getting the nose change, he's putting on more mediums, so I have no idea what's going on there. I don't know why you would do that. He's not replaced his front wing, and he's put on the same tyres, which are only 5 laps old, so very questionable there from Suscas. He's now out of the points. I have no idea why you would do that. He must know something I don't, but anyway, we'll leave that for now. But he's now down at 13th. He's got Mofo ahead of him, Insulator and Nick Mann, and F1 Boy ahead of Mofo as well, who's actually starting to close this battle because these guys are fighting so hard. Insulator goes deep. That's probably going to be a warning as well. But this fighting is going to just bring Mofo into the equation. Insulator looks like he's struggling a tiny bit though. Doesn't quite have the same pace as the two in front of him. Nick Mann and F1 Boy looking pretty decent, although I think Nick Mann just made a tiny mistake there, which is going to let Insulator back into the DRS. And Mofo's closing again. He's closing up to 3/10 from that second sector, so Mofo looking to get involved in this race, possibly trying to scrap some sort of result, as MJ and Shimatado going side by side through here. MJ down the inside of the chicane where you don't usually see overtakes. MJ is through, so great job there in a tight little spot to make a move. but it's made it stick, so well done for the Mercedes driver. They're both now in the top 7, with Zhao still hanging on to P2, but he's got Artie Cheng's right in the back, and Artie Cheng's might look to make a move here. No, he's not going to quite commit to the send. Probably smart there. There's no point throwing away your race when you're in the fight for a podium, but things are really kicking off around the track now. So Shumatara and MJ are going side by side again. Oh, and there's contact, and they're both kind of pushing each other off the track. If you give it, you got to be able to take it, I think, is the moral of the story in that one. As there's been an incident up here, Macedonian, I'm not sure if he made a mistake or if it's just a lap car, but I think I saw a half stationary too, but I'm not too sure there. Hopefully that's just the lap car there. But lots and lots of things happening all at once now. Ashuna Matata still behind MJ, so that's probably going to be a warning. Oscar gets a warning, which means a 3-second penalty as well, which is not good for him fighting for P2 at the moment still. So things have really stepped up a notch the last 2-3 laps. It was looking a bit snoozy for about 5-6 laps prior to that, but you can feel the level of intensity in this race has stepped up. There's a lot more people trying to make moves through the field now. A lot of people trying to be a bit more aggressive. That aggression is going to lead to pressure, and pressure leads to mistakes, and that's when I guess you kind of can tell your good drivers from your great drivers. So this is a really important phase of the race here. Who can be aggressive but keep it together as well. Yeah, it's going to be an important next couple of laps here as these guys sort themselves out. But Shumatara is still on the back of MJ. He's not close enough to really have a look into any of Sector 3, but he may be close enough down the straight here. We'll have to see what he can get the run with DRS. He is using overtake. Doesn't have too much to play with actually. He's going to be close. It's going to be really close. MJ is going to defend the inside. Shumatara around the outside. A little bit more contact, and MJ is going to run him off the track, which he's not really allowed to do. He has to leave the car's width there. Because Shumatara was alongside, but they're still side by side here. That's actually not a bad camera shot. You can see MJ trying to stick the nose in there. He's going to have the inside, and MJ's going to push Shumatara out wide again, and he's put him in the wall. That is completely MJ's fault, not leaving the space there. Nickman's picked up 10 seconds for some reason. I'm not sure what's happening up here, but Nickman has got a 10-second time penalty for cutting, and this lady's around. So something very weird is happening at the moment in this race. Installator has made a mistake and he's reset the track, which is illegal. I'll just write that down. So don't reset the track, guys, if you're watching. Not the front. Artie Cheng's and Drow are having a fight too. Artie Cheng's through into P2, and Drow's going to try and fight back. He'll cross over around the inside. Not going to get it stuck. Crisscross not quite working there. Oscook's still right in this fight as well. We'll run on board with him as he's going to have a good view of these guys going at it. But looks like Artie Cheng's deciding now's the time to go. Lunacy 6.3 seconds clear. He's in a race of his own at the moment. Stroud gets loose on the power, which is not going to help him if he wants to run into turn 1. I don't think he's going to be close enough now with that little mistake there from him. No, Artie Cheng's is not going to have to defend too much. Is Oscook going to be close enough to make a move? No. Shumatara is in the pits, picks up a time penalty doing it as well, which is not ideal, but I think MJ's going to have a bit to answer for the stewards there. That was not very well done at all, as Installator has retired from the session. That is in the wall, I think, and that's brought out a safety car. That's an interesting place to retire. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but the safety car, that's massive for this race. Shumatara is going to be able to pit for softs. Everyone's probably going to pit for softs now actually. Breatho was in the pits, down the race in Macedonia, switching positions for some reason. Not sure what's happening there. As for MJ and F1 Boy, I think F1 Boy's managed to jump these two, still switching over, so hopefully they don't have the Delta glitch as they just sort themselves out. If they do get 5 seconds, they should be able to get it taken off, but not ideal. But a safety car with, well, we're going to have probably 7 racing laps, maybe 6 racing laps. Lucy's going to lose that lead as down the race picked up 5 seconds for ignoring yellows. That should be able to be removed because of the silly safety car glitch there. But that's going to condense the field and that's going to cause chaos, I think, because these guys are already fighting pretty hard. But yeah, Insulator's DNF there causing that, which is not fantastic for a guy who was doing okay without being fantastic. I have no idea why he's caused, how he's caused that, because that is a really, really weird place to pit. Lucy's pit, Artie and Drell have not. So 2 Ferraris are pitting and they're both going to have to double stack. That's going to put Artie into the lead. Is Onshuk going to lose out? He might lose a second or two. He's lost about a second and a half there, so not too bad there for a double stack. But he's going to drop position to... Actually, MJ's having a slow lot for the Delta. He's going to drop to MJ. That'll put MJ to P3. No, the P4 Lunacy will be ahead of him. So Lunacy now in P3 on fresh softs. That's good. Onshuk, Macedonian. F1 Boy's going to jump a couple of them as well. F1 Boy will jump into P5. Still on those mediums, but track position is important. Onshuk will come home in P6 as Artie Cheng's to pick up 5 seconds for a collision with Drow. That's a bit weird there, and that's going to possibly cost him a chance for a race win on track at least. He may be able to get that removed in the stewards rooms a bit later on though. But lots of things kicking off now. This has turned a bit spicy actually. These guys are usually pretty nice to each other, but a couple of questionable aggressive moves has caused a bit of trouble and spice, which is what viewers like to see. But we're going to have probably a... I don't know if the safety car will come in this lap. It'll probably be one more lap because I think Bretho's a fair way back. Yeah, he's already coming down the main straight now. So we're going to have 6 racing laps till the end of the race. It's going to be a 6-lap dash, and Lucy is in P3 on those soft tyres, so he should have the pace. It's just a matter of whether he has the penalties in hand. I know he's got 3 seconds. We'll check them quickly now. Artie Cheng's has that 5 second and no other penalties. He should be able to get that removed. Drow's got a fair few penalties. Lucy's got just the 1. MJ has 1 penalty but can't afford to get another warning. F1 Boy's got a couple of penalties. Honest has 1 penalty. Macedonian is all clean. So Macedonian could be in a good position to jump some positions being clean on penalties. And P7 on fresh softs as well. So Macedonian could still be on for a podium after all this is done. But yeah, actually we'll just double check. What did Drow have? He had a couple, didn't he? Drow has, I think, 2 penalties and maybe a third, depending on what that invalid lap time is. I know that's sometimes a penalty, sometimes a warning. But yeah, Lucy looking okay for a win, but Macedonian is going to be threatening actually. I reckon if Macedonian can clear F1 Boy and MJ, then Macedonian could still be on for a win. It depends on how Honest Group goes as well, but there's going to be a lot of things happening. MJ has jumped to Lunacy for some reason. I don't know why. He's going to let him go again. I don't know why he'd do that. As Artie Cheng picks up another 5 seconds for colliding with Drow, that's his second one. So things happening under the safety car for some reason. I don't know what is happening. I'm not sure if Drow's just running to the back of him or whether Artie's doing something interesting. I think Lahardo's trying to unlap himself. But he needs to get out of the way of this fight. Yeah, he's going to try and unlap himself, which he's technically allowed to do, but the game's not going to be that nice about it. But it's probably better if he does so it doesn't affect this podium fight. So if I was you, Lahardo, I'd be getting past these guys and bolting. But it looks like he's not going to now. Oh, he is. He's going to go past one of them, and he's going to go back. So Lahardo, this is going to be quite annoying here for Lunacy. Having a lap car between him and his target. So I wonder how they're going to react. Yeah, I think the safety car will be in this lap. The whole field is caught up. Bretho is on the back of the train. He's got Mofo right in front as well, so those Renaults may be pretty aggressive towards each other, judging by how it went the first time round. So I have to keep an eye on that battle too, see what happens of them. But they're currently P12 and 13, both out of the points, whereas Ferrari had 2 cars in the top 6, but both on the best tyres. As Artie Cheng's is going to have to back up pack a tiny bit. He's not let the safety car go yet, so he can't quite go. He's going to really slow down now. That possibly could cause a few collisions down the field, which may result in some 5-second penalties. Everyone's almost stopped actually. Artie Cheng is now slowing them down as Lunacy, he's had to slam on the brakes as he's picked up 5 seconds for a collision with Lahardo. So Lahardo, the lap car, has gotten in the way here. And he's back at P3 and MJ's still there, but looks like Artie's just going now. But Lunacy now with that 5 seconds, that's going to hurt his chance of winning on the track. As Lahardo's now going to get out of the way. I think it probably would have been better if Lahado took those 5 seconds getting out of the way earlier, but the game doesn't tell you to, so I think he's done okay there. But now we are back underway. There's a bit of fighting at the back by the looks of things. Honest and F1 Boy close and close together. Looks like 2 McLarens behind as well, getting nice and close. Shumataro and Nickman both picked fresh off. Honest right at the back of F1 Boy. F1 Boy will be washing out on those old mediums. Honest will be able to hold a much tighter line and brake a lot later and accelerate a lot earlier. So Honest may look to throw it up the inside somewhere. Macedonian right behind as well. He'll be on a charge for a podium. Will Macedonian being clean on warnings as well. Clean on penalties, so I think he might have 1 warning. But Lucy's already caught the top guys as well, having dropped a fair bit of time behind the lap cars. Shumataro and Suskas going side by side. Shumataro gets through on those fresh softs, and looks like Suskas is really struggling now. But right on board at the top here with Lunacy, who has he got front wing damage? He does have front wing damage, but he's going to make the move regardless on Drow. He's going to get up into P2 is Lunacy. And Ostruk as well on the other Ferrari. He's right in the back of the F1 Boy, but he's not really going to be able to move yet. He's going to kind of slot back in. Suskas and Shumataro fighting back again. Suskas down the inside. Bretho and Mofo fighting as well. And there's contact, there's damage, and Mofo, no, it's Bretho. Bretho has gone around again. So lots of things happening now. Macedonian and Ostruk having a fight as well. Macedonian gets through into P6. Ostruk drops P7. Now look at Macedonian all over the back of F1 Boy already. Drow picked up 3 seconds for cutting, which isn't going to help him, but Lunacy on a charge, but with front wing damage is going to be important for the last 5 laps here. Macedonian right at the back of F1 Boy. It looks like he's going to probably try and make a move into turn 1. Should be able to go later on the brakes in those fresh softs. F1 Boy having a slot alongside. Macedonian will be late on the brakes and makes the move into P5. Honest Cook can't quite follow him through, but I reckon he should be able to get a run soon, but not quite this time, no. Up the front, Lunacy's on the back of Adi Cheng still with that front wing damage. I think he's probably picked that up when he got that 5 seconds, which is not ideal, but Lunacy's still looking like he's got good pace on Adi Cheng's. He's a 10th up in his best time, so those fresh stops are really helping him out. But yes, Lunacy is still looking pacey with that damage. MJ and Drow and Macedonian all having a big battle. Macedonian's going to try and sneak around the outside, which is not really an overtaking sport. MJ is still there. MJ is going to come across Macedonian slightly. Macedonian's going to around the outside and get pushed out wide again. MJ's picked up 3 seconds for track limits. I think MJ needs someone to have a word with him about driving cleanly, because he's not making very many clean overtakes here and not defending his position particularly smoothly. It looks like Ostruk's going to get, well, he's going to have a quick look, but MJ's going to, oh, he might lose out another position here. Little MJ's going to get pushed out wide into the wall there, and that might be a little bit of karma for him, having done that to a couple of other drivers as well. But he's going to go deep again, and MJ has now lost a couple of positions, which is not great. He's now got a Shumataro next to him, and things are not going well now for MJ. Suskas is through as well, so MJ in 10th, losing a lot of positions in 1 lap. And once Mofo is now going to be right in the back of him, and a little bit of contact there. But up the front, Lunacy and Adi Cheng's having a fight. Drow and Macedonian as well, a bit further back. Lunacy gets through in P1, and Drow has to concede to Macedonian in P3. So Macedonian now in P3, and if he can stay within 3 seconds of Lunacy, he's got the race wing in the bag. As Mofo down the back again is getting past MJ. MJ now out of the points totally, which is far from ideal for him. But now Macedonian free air in front, so he's probably in the best chance to win this race. There's a couple of guys picking up warnings and penalties. Still trying to push for some points down here. As we've got someone around, that is Nickman. He has gone around, and that is not ideal for him. But Mofo now on the inside of Suskas, incredible traction through there. He's going to make the move actually, so that's a really strong move there for Mofo. He's done very well. Suskas doing well to leave him some space as well. Credit to him. Ostruk now right at the back of Drow. Ostruk should have to run onto DRS straight. Gives him a slight tap though, which is going to hurt his run, but should still have the tie grip. And he's got DRS too. Drow's going to try and squeeze him, but can't quite close through enough. And Ostruk up into P4, and Adi Cheng's, no sorry, down the race, so my bad, is right there as well. Ostruk goes a bit deep, and Drow goes, both of them get a bit loose. Down the race, and runs into the back of Drow slightly, but gets the move done. Drow losing a couple of positions on those struggling mediums now, and there's contact. And they've done well to keep themselves out of the wall there, but that's going to allow F1 Boy around the outside of Drow again. And look at a Shumataro going down the inside of Drow. So Drow losing a lot of positions. And look at Mofo again. So these guys are all just absolutely swamping Drow at the moment. There's a bit of contact. Mofo has to save that. And Suskas is probably going to get a half decent run, but can't really make the most of it. So Drow just dropped a lot of positions in not much time there. That shows the tyre difference. Shumataro on the back can't quite get a move on F1 Boy though, who's got DRS from down the race ahead. So lots of things happening now. With 3 laps to go in this race, it's been a pretty crazy race so far. Still plenty more can happen, I think. Mofo and Drow going nice and close together. Mofo's going to go around the outside of the long left-hander. It's going to become the inside if he can hold it. And he's going to get the move done. Drow down into P9 on those medium tyres. So looks like that gamble hasn't quite paid off. Although in saying that, RD has held on to a top position. As Bretho and MJ having a fight as well. MJ is going to send it down the inside of Bretho. That was incredibly aggressive there. And Bretho has to save the car slightly. So these guys not giving each other an inch of room. It's hard racing. I guess if you're going to give it, you've got to be able to take it. Drow picks up another penalty as Dan the Racer and F1 Boy still close together, and Honest Cook just ahead of the pair of them, although F1 Boy's dropped a tad. Ashuma Tada now into there. Macedonian's going to cape P2 off Artie Chang's. That is big there for Macedonian. Artie Chang's can't fight back on those medium tyres. He's done well to hold his position, but now Macedonian into P2, and with that penalty in hand, that's going to really help his chance for a win. Ashuma Tada and Mofo going side by side again into P7, so Mofo has been able to recover from that poor start, but that safe car's really helped him. We've got yellows, and that looks like, who is it? It's not Rosado, I think it might have been MJ. Has he got, yeah, MJ's got big damage, so MJ's gone into the wall somewhere as well in there. Suscus and Drell having a big fight. Nickman picks up time penalty too, so something's happened down the back there again. Mofo now on the back of F1 Boy, so Mofo looking at P6. Which would be a fantastic result considering the start of the race that he had, getting involved with his teammate in a little bit of an incident there. But side by side, nothing separating them in the delta, but Mofo will hold the inside line and take P6. Shumatata now trying to follow him through, but F1 Boy stays in P7 on those old mediums, doing quite well for himself actually. We'd expect them to have dropped off a bit more. But yeah, big moves happening. Now Mofo, I wonder if he has a chance to get down the racer in P5. Both racing points now in the top 5 as well as both Ferraris. So that's good constructive points for a pair of them. But up the front, Macedonian 1.2 second deficit for Lunacy, but with a penalty in hand. So unless Macedonian picks up a couple of warnings now, it's his race to lose. So Macedonian doing really well, being in the right spot at the right time, because we've got something else happening at the back. I think it's MJ Bretho having a bit of a love session again. There's going to be a bit of a talk to some of these guys, I think, after the race for some incredibly aggressive driving. But that's not my job to worry about. My job to worry about is on-track action, and Ashuma Tada around the outside of F1 Boy. If he's going to be able to hold it right at the inside for the next quarter, F1 Boy's going to hold it. Ashuma Tada, wow, he's done well there to hang around the outside, inside for the next corner, gets through. Up ahead, Mofo's managed to get past down the racer as well in the Renault. So Mofo up now into the top 5, down the racer P6. So Mofo's done very well in charging through the field here, but we're going to come on to the last lap now. Macedonian is within a second of, actually there's some stuff happening back here, probably worth having a look at. A couple more yellows through here. So MJ and Bretho being a bit naughty to each other, perhaps. But Macedonian up for the lead. He's now in DRS at Lunacy, and if he can win it on track, then that would be a massive statement. But he might win the race anyway. Artie Cheng's 2 seconds back now, so he's not quite in the fight here. But Lunacy, after having a really comfortable lead, he's going to be kicking himself out of that safety car. Macedonian's teammate Suscus is going around the outside of Drow. Lajado has retired in the pits on the last lap, not scoring points today, which is great. Not great for him, sorry. So now Bretho is our last runner, but he's right at the back of MJ, who were both in the points at the stage as well, but had a couple of incidents to deal with. Look at this, Macedonian right at the back of Lunacy here. He's going to probably be able to line up and move into the next braking zone. Gets a good run there. He's going to have DRS overtake. They've both got pretty much identical battery, which is almost nothing. Macedonian with the DRS. He's going to go around the outside. It's going to be the inside if he can hang it. He's already passed him. Lunacy has nothing to fight with. Macedonian now through for P1 on track, which is a fantastic result for him. Getting the chance to catch that gap up with the safety car. Lunacy will be kicking himself about that, but Macedonian now into the lead of the race. And on the last lap, he should be able to hold it now. And anyway, he has got 3 seconds in hand too. So Macedonian is going to come around the final 2 corners, and barring any major catastrophe, he's going to win the race. After what looks somewhat unlikely, he's going to come across the line in P1. Lunacy takes P2, and Artie Chengs will come into P3. Honest Cook P4 jumps to P2 on penalties. Honest Cook into P2, down the race at P4. Mofo, Artie, F1 Boy, Shumatara round out a top 8. Suscus stays 9th, and Drow will come across the line in 10th, but will he hold it on Nickman? It looks like he will. Nickman's made a mistake or something. He's weaving around for some reason. Not too sure why. He's got some big damage on that front wing. MJ just behind as well. He's got Bretho a couple of seconds back as well, but Nickman, he's going to lose out to MJ is going to drop down, I think, to just about the last position. I think Breatho got him at the line as well. But that was a pretty crazy race. Yes, spicy. Down the race picks up driver of the day, well deserved. He had a fantastic race in the end, coming from right at the back of the grid to finish well on the points. I think it was P6 in the end, so well done to him for getting that drive up. But it is Macedonian who's going to have a bit of fortune fall his way with the safety car, but he will take P1 regardless. Honest Cook jumps his teammate Lunacy to P3. I think that was honestly Lunacy's race to win there. Without that safety car, he looked incredibly comfortable in P1, so he will be disappointed about that. But Ferrari 2 and 3 is going to be big for their Constructors' Championship tally, particularly with Mofo and Breatho not having the best of races. So that was a spicy, I think that's the best way to put it, a very spicy Russian Grand Prix. There's going to be a bit of a word to some of these guys in the stewards room for some of that. But as a spectator, that's not really my thing to worry about. So Macedonian P1, Ferrari 2 and 3. Down the race, Renati Cheng's 4 and 6 for Racing Point with Mofo in between and P5 after a good recovery after a poor start, getting involved with his teammate in a bit of a mess. F1 boy Shim Tyler, Suskas and Drow will take the remaining points. MJ just misses out. Breatho, Nick Mann and Lothardo was a couple of laps down. He'll gain that finishing position but won't get points for it. Insulator is our DNF and possibly with a bit of a punishment heading his way for crashing out in a questionable position, but we'll see about that. So good job for those guys for putting an entertaining race on. It wasn't the cleanest event, definitely, but that kind of spice makes it interesting for me. So we'll see how that all goes in terms of the stewards' rooms, but we'll leave it there. What round was this? Round 14. So I think we've got 5 more races left. We'll just check the calendar. Got Japan next week, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. Yep, so 5 rounds to go. Macedon is going to have a nice lead in the championship now. Mofo is going to need to put in some good results to challenge that. And they've got a big gap back to Lunacy, who had a chance to get some points back on him, but that hasn't quite worked out. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. If you want to see these guys' previous races, check out the Race Spec YouTube channel, as well as for the other tiers. I think there are 5 Pacific tiers, as well as plenty of other regionals around. I know Global and Elite series are on Sundays as well, so check out those. They're all on the Race Spec channel. If you want to see more of these guys, then tune in same time, same place next week, where we'll be at Japan, which is going to be an interesting challenge for these guys. So it's going to be a fun one. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and we'll catch you next week. See you later.